Pistado na Alan Cayetano at Sara Duterte booking na ang totoong relasyon.
Section 3, Paragraph 6 of the Philippine Constitution and Rule 3 of the Senate Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trials. May we request everyone to rise? Same oath, no? Same oath. So, same. I state your name. Solemnly swear that in all things pertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, now pending, I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. So help me God. Senator Judge Villanueva.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Thursday, May 14, 2026, the House of Representatives, through Secretary General Cheloy Garafil, personally delivered to the Senate the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, pursuant to Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution, and Rule 4, Section 11 of the Rules of Procedure in impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives. Earlier today, the articles of impeachment were referred to the Committee on Rules and consequently to the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. Mr. President, the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte with its annexes are now presented to the court for proper disposition and action.
The same is duly noted and made of record. For the record, Resolution number 39 or the Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trial shall continue to apply. We further note that Rule 6 thereof, which provide that the provisions of the rules of the Senate and the revised rules of court shall apply suppletorily whenever applicable. The court having been organized, and the articles of impeachment having been presented, let a writ of summons be issued to the Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, who is directed to file her answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt, pursuant to Article 7 of the Rules of Procedure of Impeachment Trial. She is directed to appear before the Session Hall of the Senate of the Philippines upon notice. The Sergeant at Arms is directed to serve the written summons on Vice President Sara Duterte along with a copy of the articles of impeachment. The prosecution may file a reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days from receipt of the answer. The parties may file their pleadings and annexes in person or through electronic mail. All other pleadings, motions, similar papers intended for the consideration of this court may be filed electronically. We will circulate the specific instructions on the format for the pleadings and manner of electronic filing for the guidance of all parties.
Mr. President.
Senator Judge.
Thank you,
Soto,
thank you.
yes.
Mr. President, may we be clarified when you say 10 days, is that working days or calendar days?
Calendar days.
Calendar days, and including the 5 days for the prosecution to respond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. The clerk of court is hereby authorized to calendar the case for pre-trial and issue the corresponding notices to the parties after the last pleading is filed. Upon conclusion of the pre-trial, the trial proper shall commence on a date and time fixed by the court, of which the parties shall be duly notified. I approached members of the minority of the Senate, and then later on I will approach the senator judges, that we will fix the calendar together, and in pursuit of impartial justice, we will come up with a impeachment calendar that is fair to the prosecution and to the defense, and will allow us to continue to function in the legislative side of our work. Any other matter? If there no other matter, the session is suspended. Session is resumed.
Mr. President, with the permission of the body and pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate, may I respectfully move to elect the chairpersons of the Senate permanent committees. If I may, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Senator Lauren Legarda, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Culture and Arts. So moved, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means. So moved.
There's no objection, motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, chairperson of the Committee on Health and Demography. Vice Senator Risa Hontiveros. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Any objection? No objection, motion is approved.
Mr. President, Senator Joel Villanueva as chairperson of the Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
There's no objection, the motion is approved. Thank you very much, Senator Legarda.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, chairperson of the Committee on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation. Vice Senator Lauren Legarda. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Christopher Bongo, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sports. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? No objection. The motion is approved. Pang health na, pang sports pa.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, and Futures Thinking. I so move, Mr. President.
If there is no objection, the motion is approved.
Senator Lauren Legarda, as chairperson of the Committee on Basic Education. Vice Senator Bam Aquino. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Dante Marcoleta, as chairperson of the Committee on Public Services. Vice Senator Raffy Tulfo. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If none, the motion is approved.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Cultural Communities and Muslim Affairs. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, as chairperson of the Committee on Games and Amusement. Vice Senator Erwin Tulfo. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Senator Pia Cayetano, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Energy. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? If there's none, the motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Yes. Before the suspension, may I ask the chairpersons if they replaced another senator, if they can coordinate if there is any pending sponsorship that was already being discussed before the change in leadership. We actually have a weekly agenda, and as much as we can pursue the original committee report and sponsorship, the leadership will greatly appreciate that. No? Session suspended.
Please, Mr. President. I move to call the roll, Mr. President. Sorry.
There's no objection. We will call the roll.
Roll call of members. Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator
point.
Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Raffy, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri. The Senate President is present.
With 23 senators, Senator Bato is absent? Okay, with 23 senators present, the chair declares presence of a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we proceed, may I just be allowed to recognize guests from the gallery, guests of Senator Ligarda, Mayor Mar Mission of San Remigio Antique. Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, we would like to, first of all, put on record our sincerest thanks and gratitude for the valuable contribution of our Secretary General of the Senate. And I've seen firsthand his sacrifices and willingness to walk the extra mile just to preserve the dignity of the institution. So we just want to put that on record.
At the right time, I think we should honor him with a resolution.
Yes.
And is he also the first to be a SecGen of both the House and the Senate? And to be fair, he actually resigned right away. I asked him to continue. And actually, I'm asking him to continue in a different manner. But, dear colleagues, the SecGen Mendoza did a great service to both houses.
We
and I'd
wanted
like
to put on
recognize-
record, the name is Dong Mendoza,
Yes.
former congressman of the great province of Batangas. And with that, Mr. President, and following the relinquishment of the position by our former Secretary of the Senate, I move that we proceed to the election of a new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Yes. I consulted the minority leader, and because the SecGen will also be the clerk of court of the impeachment proceeding. So if there are no objections, we will proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in accordance to Rule 2, Section 2 of the Rules of the Senate, may I respectfully nominate Jose Luis Garcia Montales as the new Secretary of the Senate. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none.
Thank you, Mr. President. And there being no other nominations, may I respectfully move that the period of nominations be closed. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none. The motion is approved. Pursuant to the rules of the Senate, there being no other candidate for the position of Senate Secretary, the voting will be viva voce. Those voting for Attorney Montales, please say aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Attorney Jose Luis Montales. Those who are again, say nay. Okay. Thank you very much for... The ayes have it. And Jose Luis Montales is hereby declared as proclaimed as the Secretary of the Senate, the second to have been both SecGen of the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I move for a minute suspension to allow our new Senate Secretary to ascend the rostrum and take his oath. So move, Mr. President.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Wala si Ses. Konti, hay. Okay. I state your full name.
I, Jose Luis Garcia Montales,
Having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
having been elected to the position of Secretary of the Senate,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
the duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position,
and of all others I may hereafter
and of all others I may hereafter
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
hold under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will obey the laws,
that I will obey the laws,
legal orders, and decrees
legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
and maintain true faith and allegiance
and maintain true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of the Philippines,
to the Republic of the Philippines,
and that I impose this obligation
and that I impose this obligation
upon myself voluntarily,
upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, Pia.
Nandiyan na yung sana. Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Is there any objection? If not, the motion is approved.
Tapos yes. So messages from the House of Representatives.
Messages from the House of Representatives. Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate 27 copies of Committee Report number 261 on House Resolution number 989 titled Resolution Setting Forth the Articles of Impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte, together with the annexes thereto, and 27 USB devices containing file copies of the above.
Rules referred to the
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives transmitting to the Senate the sealed box containing the documents from the Bureau of Internal Revenue relative to the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that, in accordance with Section 16, Rule 6 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives, 20th Congress, Representatives Luis Ro, Ridon, Gutierrez, Zamora, Defensor, Diokno, De Lima, Bagao, Flores, Suan, and Chua have been elected as prosecutors in the impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Referred to the Committee on Rules. Acting Majority Leader.
Mr. President.
Yeah,
Mr.
the
President.
Minority Leader is recognized.
I heard, and we saw the notice, the message from the House of Representatives, and you have referred the articles of impeachment to the Committee on Rules. May we know if we have already constituted the Committee on Rules?
The Committee on Rules is in the acting capacity. So in accordance with Section 19, the same members and Senator Villanueva. Actually, for your information, Minority Leader, we were in caucus and wanted to meet also the minority to start reading the committee chairmanships, but we thought it prudent to convene the court first, and then when we remove our, after we convene the court and suspend, we can go back into session to start reading the committees.
So I take it that right now the chairman of the Committee on Rules is in an acting capacity.
Yes, Senator Villanueva.
And
an
the
acting.
membership at this point would only be the ex officio members.
And the members before the all positions were declared
holdover
vacant.
from the
Holdover,
previous,
yes, in accordance with Section 19.
Will you refresh me with Section 19, Your Honor, Mr. President? Because
Yes. Yes. And to be fair,
because in that
Senator
case-
Pangilinan has a interpretation question. That's why we referred this to the Committee on Rules.
Okay.
The chairman and the members of the permanent committee shall commence in the exercise of their duties upon election. They shall cease when their successors shall have been elected or designated. So since we have not yet elected or designated their successors, except for the majority leader, our interpretation that it continues. But Senator Pangilinan did bring up the seeming conflict that if it's all seats vacant, then it's
Yes,
vacant. But
precisely.
then my initial statement was that you harmonize the rules, and if you harmonize it with pragmatically with what's happening, then we should never have a complete vacancy. Having said that, it is with the Committee on Rules, but I don't think Senator Villanueva scheduled it for hearing until we have the permanent members, just to be sure. And we hope to start doing that this afternoon.
we will accept that for now, Mr.
Yes.
President.
Thank you, Minority Leader.
We make a note of the manifestation.
And,
Thank you.
and I will note and recognize not only your observations today, but the observation of Senator Pangilinan. And if we need to clarify later on, it'll be a good opportunity for us to look at the rules, given the 1392 present setup, unless we are overtaken by events. Yes. Okay. Majority Leader?
Correction, Mr. President, 1311.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been corrected because Senator Subiri and Senator JV said that they are independent, but same with Senator Pia and I, we started out independent, and then Senator Subiri asked us if for the purposes of we can join the majority. So it's their choice if they remain minority or they join the majority, or if you can get 2 more members, then you will be the new majority.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I?
Of course. Former Senate President Zubiri.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to be associated with the minority bloc, Mr. President, if I may. Binatikos nga ako nila, sabi nila na ako'y nag-fence sitting at nag-abstain. Nag-abstain lang ako para have a free hand to vote on which issue that I think is important for the Filipino people. But when it comes to the organization, I would like to associate myself with the minority, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. Yes. So, Senator Ejercito would also like to manifest.
Yes, first of all, Mr. President, I'd like to thank Mr. President for the trust and honor that I was offered to become the majority leader. But as I have mentioned to you personally, that as of this time, I would rather maintain my independence, and with what is happening all over, I think I will be able to perform my tasks very well and my pet programs very well as an independent. But again, nonetheless, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for the trust and confidence. Being majority leader is a very, of course, it's one of the most powerful, we would say, position in the Senate. But I guess I have, at this point, I would like to maintain my independence. Mr.
And
President.
I also understand. I also recognize that you will say that you will be our number 14, but until the time that we vote, any member, we have to respect their decision and always ascribe good faith. So we will continue to be good friends despite the political divisions or the nomenclature of who is in the majority or the minority. So for the purposes of today to the future, and unless a change is made, will you be an independent or will you be with the minority?
Yes, for now, Mr. President, I'll be with the minority.
Okay.
But again, I would like to thank you for
Yes.
that, and for the respect, and we will all still be friends no matter what. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Senator Ejercito. So the Secretariat has that noted, and we can now compute the membership at a 13-11 proportion. So that we do not, we're not accused of any delay. Acting Majority Leader, what's your pleasure
Yes, Mr.
about the
President.
articles of
Yes,
impeachment?
yes, Mr. President. Just to put on record, as Senator JV made mention, this his statement is for the purposes of proportional representation in the membership of committees. Also, Mr. President, Senator Lacson asked this representation to put also on record the membership of the Senate Committee on Rules or ex officio members would have to be the new ex officio members. So just to put
Yes.
that on record, Mr. President.
That's a correct observation
Yes.
from Senator Lacson.
Thank you. Mr. President, with the permission of the body, the articles of impeachment have been referred to the Committee on Rules. May I respectfully move to refer the articles of impeachment to the impeachment court. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There's no objection. It is so referred.
Mr. President, may I move that we suspend the session to convene the impeachment court. So move, Mr. President.
If there's no objection, we will suspend and convene the impeachment court. Nueva?
Thank you, Mr. President. Last Thursday, May 14, 2026, the House of Representatives, through Secretary General Cheloy Garafil, personally delivered to the Senate the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, pursuant to Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution, and Rule 4, Section 11 of the Rules of Procedure in the impeachment proceedings of the House of Representatives. Earlier today, the articles of impeachment were referred to the Committee on Rules and consequently to the Senate sitting as an impeachment court. Mr. President, the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte with its annexes are now presented to the court for proper disposition and action.
The same is duly noted and made of record. For the record, Resolution number 39 or the Rules of Procedure on Impeachment Trial shall continue to apply. We further note that Rule 6 thereof, which provide that the provisions of the rules of the Senate and the revised rules of court shall apply suppletorily whenever applicable. The court having been organized, and the articles of impeachment having been presented, let a writ of summons be issued to the Vice President, Sara Zimmerman Duterte, who is directed to file her answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt, pursuant to Article 7 of the Rules of Procedure of Impeachment Trial. She is directed to appear before the session hall of the Senate of the Philippines upon notice. The Sergeant at Arms is directed to serve the written summons on Vice President Sara Duterte along with a copy of the articles of impeachment. The prosecution may file a reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days from receipt of the answer. The parties may file their pleadings and annexes in person or through electronic mail. All other pleadings, motions, similar papers intended for the consideration of this court may be filed electronically. We will circulate the specific instructions on the format for the pleadings and manner of electronic filing for the guidance of all parties.
Mr. President.
Senator Judge.
Thank you,
Soto.
thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President, may we be clarified when you say 10 days, is that working days or calendar days?
Calendar days.
Calendar days, and including the 5 days for the prosecution to respond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The clerk of court is hereby authorized to calendar the case for pre-trial and issue the corresponding notices to the parties after the last pleading is filed. Upon conclusion of the pre-trial, the trial proper shall commence on a date and time fixed by the court, of which the parties shall be duly notified. I approached members of the minority of the Senate, and then later on I will approach the senator judges that we will fix the calendar together, and in pursuit of impartial justice, we will come up with a impeachment calendar that is fair to the prosecution and to the defense, and will allow us to continue to function in the legislative side of our work.
Are now circulating. Statements were made that the Senate was under attack, while the executive denies of any offensive operation. Some claim that the tension was triggered by the recent changes in Senate leadership. There are allegations involving the OSAA, the NBI, and even a speculation that the shooting itself was smokescreen to facilitate an escape or create confusion. And even more disturbing are allegations attempting to implicate the minority just because nakauwi na po kami. With all due respect, Mr. President, on May 12, a day before the incident, the new Senate leadership informed the body the intention to have an all-senators caucus. On May 13, the day of the incident, around 5:02 p.m., it was modified to a majority-only caucus. Naturally, members of the minority who were no longer part of those internal deliberations eventually went home, Mr. President. To suggest that the mere fact that some senators were responsible for what later transpired just because they had already left the premises is speculative, irresponsible, and unsupported by evidence. But beyond the conflicting narratives, let us not forget the ordinary Senate employees and staff who were caught in the middle of the chaos, mga rank and file, maintenance, security, clerk, media at iba pang empleyadong naipit lamang dahil ginagampanan po ang kanilang mga tungkulin. Yet they were the ones exposed to fear, confusion, and danger inside an institution where they should have felt secured. Some were traumatized, some feared for their safety. Mr. President, hindi po sila scapegoats at lalong hindi collateral damage. At the same time, we must recognize the larger damage caused by this incident. Mr. President, millions of Filipinos and even the whole world watched this unfold in disbelief. They saw the confusion inside one of the highest institutions of the government. They saw conflicting authorities, conflicting narratives, and an atmosphere that appeared closer to disorder than democratic governance. Nakakahiya po sa totoo lang, Ginoong Pangulo. And because the public witnessed, the public deserves the truth. Nakaabang na po ang taong bayan. And they have been waiting since Monday. Una, ano ba ang legal na basihan sa pagpasok ng mga otoridad sa bisinidad ng Senado kung meron man po? Pangalawa, nagkaroon ba ito ng formal na koordinasyon sa pamunuan ng Senado bago isinagawa ang operasyon at ano ang naging direktiba ng liderato kaugnay rito? Pangatlo, ano po ang mga partikular na aksyon na nag-udyok at naging mitsa ng putukan? Meron bang provokasyon mula sa alinmang panig? At aling ahensya o sino-sinong individual ang direktang responsable sa pagpapaputok ng mga baril? Alam ko po, Ginoong Pangulo, wala po kayo roon. Bagkos kayo po ay nakasalalay lamang sa mga report na ibinibigay po sa inyo. Naintindihan ko po yun. Pangapat, anong mga hakbang ang ginawa upang masigurong ligtas po ang mga senador, mga empleyado at ang media bago at matapos maganap ang insidente? Ang panghuli, ano-anong mga ebidensya po ang nakalap upang magbigay linaw sa tunay na pangyayari? Ginoong Pangulo, when law enforcement operations intersect with the authority privileges and internal security protocols of another branch of government, there must be clarity, not confusion, restraint, not escalation. Alam ko po na may kanya-kanyang investigasyon ay sinasagawa ang Senado at NBI. But there is merit in the public outcry for an impartial independent and facts-based investigation. Mahalagang maituguyod po ang isang proseso na patas, transparent at may kredibilidad sa mata ng publiko. Walang undue influence, walang haka-haka. At the end of the day, Mr. President, no camp wins when public confidence in institution is weakened. The Senate is not a venue for armed confrontation, Mr. President, or competing display of forces or political theater. It is a constitutional institution governed by law, order, and respect for due process. Hindi po drama, aksyon o comedy ang hanap ng taong bayan. They are asking for truth, accountability, and stability. And that is precisely what this institution owes them, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
In consultation, just a minute, in consultation with the majority leader, I will not rule that manifestation out of order because actually it is a privileged speech or it is actually a topic for personal or collective privilege. But since it's a matter of grave importance, Senator Tulfo, I share with you the sentiment of its grave importance. Myself, I'm taking prudence and waiting for all the investigations. There are resolutions filed. It will be referred to the proper committee. But of the highest order, in accordance with our rules and constitution, is always the election of our officers organization. So unless anyone has a higher motion now, because actually members of the majority have also asked to speak on that matter. And we will allow everyone to speak on that matter, but we will proceed first with the election of our committees. Majority Leader? Minority Leader. Yeah. Minority Leader, then Senator Risa.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor, Mr. President. We concur. But the reference, the referral of the speech and the forthcoming resolutions will be later on.
Yes. Well, it's not a speech. It's a it's a manifestation. So unless there's a motion to refer, which let's harmonize it later on with the resolution filed by the minority.
Yes,
so that we do
would
not
like to
refer it to different committees.
Yes, I will
Yes.
like to file for a motion later on
Yes.
for the referral.
That's in order, Minority Leader. What's your pleasure, Senator Risa?
Salamat po, Mr. President. Together with the Minority Leader, I defer to the ruling earlier stated by the presiding officer. Pero just to make of record, Mr. President, nakaschedule din po ako mag-deliver sa ating agenda for the day
Yes.
ng privilege speech. And it so happens po,
It's the same
katulad
topic.
nung
Yes.
paksa nung
Yes.
talumpati ni Senator Erwin Tulfo, and specifically moving forward from the events of last week and this week, Mr. President.
Noted. So,
And I look forward to being able to deliver that within today's session, Mr. President.
noted. So can we go to the
Yes.
Thank you, Mr.
election?
President.
Mr.
Senator
President,
Tulfo. So unless this has to do with the election, we will defer all of those manifestations later in accordance with our rule. What is the reason that you rise, Senator Tulfo?
Mr. President, manifestation of support
Yeah.
lang sana.
Sorry, Senator, I made a ruling already supported by the... But I will go to you right after. Majority Leader, please
Thank you, Mr.
recognize Senator Tulfo right after
Yes, Mr. President.
you read the committees.
Maraming
Go ahead.
salamat po,
Yes, Mr.
Ginoong
President,
Pangulo.
with that, may I just move that we refer the manifestation of Senator Erwin Tulfo and manifestations that were mentioned to the Committee on Rules?
We will wait for the Minority Leader when we read the...
Okay.
The resolution
I
later
withdraw the
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Maybe we will take
Yes,
a quick...
therefore, Mr. President, we will go now to the previous motion of this representation pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate. I move to elect the chairpersons of the Senate Permanent Committees. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, please proceed.
Senator Pia Cayetano as chairperson of the Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigations. Vice Senator Panfilo Lacson. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator P is hereby elected.
Senator Amy Marcos, chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Relations. Vice Senator Erwin Tulfo. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Amy is hereby elected.
Senator Camille Villar, retained as chairperson of the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? If not, Senator Camille Villar is hereby elected to such committee.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla as chairperson of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes. Vice Senator Francis Pangilinan. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Robin Padilla is hereby elected to that committee.
Senator Camille Villar as chairperson of the Committee on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises. Vice Senator Mark Villar. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? If not, Senator Camille Villar is elected to that.
Mr. President, as earlier committed,
Sure.
Senator Rafi Tulfo
Yes,
would like
Senator
to
Tulfo,
take the
I
floor.
apologize. Thank you very much for the adhering to the ruling of the chair. We will now recognize you. Afterwards, Senator Risa is raising her hand.
Mr. President, I would like to associate myself with the manifestation of Senator Erwin Tulfo. Meron lang po akong konting katanungan. Meron ho bang standard operating procedure manual ang ating USAA? Number one. Number two, pagdating po sa pag-handle ng firearms, are these the members of the USAA, are they trained? And then number three, ano-ano ho bang qualifications dito mga members ng USAA natin? Who are they? What are their qualifications to be chosen as members of the USAA? Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Yes. So, note your questions are noted, and depends on what committee we refer it to. We will consult with the minority. We'll take a recess, a short suspension when we read the committee report, because unless we agree to convert into a committee of a whole so that the certain people can testify here, the other option is to give it to a standing committee. So let's decide that in a while.
And then lastly, Mr. President, meron bang training ang members ng USAA kung paano mag-handle ng isang problema, isang situation, and do they understand the meaning of rules of engagement? Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Yes. Thank you for those questions, Senator Tulfo. Senator Risa, do you want to take the floor? Yung sa summons.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Mr. President, halos isang linggo na matapos ang habulan at barilan dito sa Senado. Sa loob-loob ko, hindi ako mapanatag na simula nung Lunes, ang ipinapakita natin ay para bang walang nangyari. Na para bang hindi nabastos ang ating institusyon, ang ating mga empleyado, at ang mga Pilipino. Hindi maliit na bagay ang nangyari dito. At lalong hindi dapat inaasa sa mga Facebook Live, press conferences at media interviews ang pagtatahi-tahi ng mga pangyayari. Ganito na ba talaga kababa ang inabot ng ating politika sa Pilipinas? Ito na ba tayo, Mr. President? Tuluyan na bang nilihis ng politika ang ating mga pamantayan sa pakikipagkapwa? The situation stooped so low that here, in and around these same august halls, may pwedeng magkasa ng barel sa harap ng mga sibilyan. Dear colleagues, kahit kailan, hindi yan nangyari sa Pilipinas. Kahit panahon ng kudeta, not even during the darkest days of martial law, did gunfire erupt within our halls. So, whether we stand in the minority or in the majority, the Senate, as an institution, has sustained a profound injury to its dignity, credibility, and moral authority before the Filipino people. And this frustrates me every day since Wednesday, including in the context of initial findings from the investigation conducted by the Department of Justice, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, and the Philippine National Police, beginning to reveal various points. Patuloy pa rin ang investigasyon, Mr. President, at dapat lang. But still, This needs to be said. Kapag may nagpaputok ng barel, right here in the people's house, kapag naghasik ka ng takot sa mga empleyado, sa media, sa security personnel, at sa mga sibilyan, kapag may natroma dahil sa karahasan at umuuwing nanginginig at hindi mapakali sa sariling bahay, lampas na ito sa isyu ng pamumulitika. Pambabastos na yan at pang-aabuso sa lahat-lahat ng ipinagkatiwala sa Senado bilang mga lingkod bayan. As we all know, democracy has always made room for disagreement. But, dear colleagues, hindi na ito political disagreement. Hindi na ito issue ng kampihan. What should trouble us is the manner by which this agreement is being settled, which reflects a broader national discourse that has become more coarse and unforgiving. When aggression is normalized and humiliation is treated as political currency. We cannot have a culture that proudly treats fellow Filipinos as enemies to be defeated, all in the name of clout. Yung mga pagbabanta, pambibintang, pananakit ng damdamin, hindi yan ang dapat ginagawang sukatan ng tapang. Kahit magkakatunggali sa politika, hindi tayo dapat ganyan sa isa't isa, lalo na dito sa Senado. Hindi ito tahanan ng ganyang kababang uri ng politika. Ngayon, higit sa kailanman, dapat manaig ang ating pagka-Pilipino. I refuse to believe na tayong mga Pilipino ay mga bulag na sumusunod sa sinumang politiko. I refuse to believe na wala nang natitirang malasakit, hiya o pagmamahal sa bayan. Kasi ang mga krisis, ang mga sakuna, hindi yan nagtatanong kung sinong kakampi mo sa politika. Lahat tayo tinatamaan at lahat tayo may responsibilidad. At tayo mismo, dito sa Senado, kaya nating magkasundo. In fact, all of the laws I myself have championed could not have passed without the support of those from across the political aisle. And I refuse to believe that this institution that has crafted laws for the most marginalized, that has conducted crucial investigations, that have moved the needle at various political junctures, is beyond repair or redemption. Let us remember, Mr. President, that we have a bicameral legislature with a Senate elected at large, precisely to have a body that can rise above parochial concerns and craft a vision for the entire nation. At kaya kong sabihin ng buong puso that this Senate has, at its best, shown that disagreement does not destroy our common duty. We have passed laws across party lines. That is why we cannot act as though nothing happened last week. Alam natin ang tama at mali. Alam natin kapag sumosobra na. And this is what our country needs from us now. For the Senate, in this difficult hour, to reflect the best of our people. May we prove worthy of the trust that our people have placed in us. Marami pong salamat sa inyo at sa lahat, Mr. President.
Before I recognize Senator Pia and Senator Marcoleta, you know, the curious thing is the prayer of Senator Kiko and the prayer of former Senate President Tito Soto yesterday. We all agree with it. We're just looking at it from different sides of the political lens. And many of your statements today, Senator Risa, many of us, if not all, agree. But we all won't agree that parang walang nangyari. I don't know where that came from because I don't think anyone is treating it trivially. It's just a matter of how we can focus on it given that there is a real economic crisis, crisis of prices, oil crisis. Our stock is running out. We're convening into an impeachment court. You know, our staff are overwhelmed by the number of investigations, by the number of subpoenas that are here. They're asking us to produce so many things while we're also doing our own. So while we will agree with you and let's discuss later on which committee, I do not think anyone is acting as if parang walang nangyari. Senator Pia or Senator Marcoleta?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I ask if Senator Risa would yield to a few questions?
Can we take a minute suspension?
That the moment Senator De La Rosa surrenders, he will be immediately brought outside Philippine territory and deprived of the protection and remedies of Philippine laws and courts. To surrender Senator De La Rosa is to effectively surrender Philippine sovereignty itself. The International Criminal Court Pretrial Chamber 1, Mr. President, has confirmed that it issued a warrant of arrest against Senator De La Rosa on November 6, 2025. It unsealed the warrant only on May 11, 2026. The warrant orders the arrest and surrender of Senator De La Rosa. Under Article 102 of the Rome Statute, to surrender Senator De La Rosa is to deliver him to the custody of the ICC in the Netherlands, a foreign jurisdiction where Philippine laws have no force and Philippine courts can do nothing. While the sponsors pretend that they want Senator De La Rosa surrendered to authorities in the Philippines, in reality, they want him handcuffed, dragged to the airport, dumped on a plane, and banished to the clutches of the ICC in the Netherlands. While the sponsors claim they want Senator De La Rosa to avail of Philippine judicial remedies, in reality, they want him removed from territorial jurisdiction of the Philippine courts and therefore deprived of the rights and remedies that every Filipino enjoy under our laws and constitutional protection of due process. In fact, Mr. President, if the sponsors will have their way, the Senator De La Rosa is transported to the Netherlands. The constitutional issues now pending before the Philippine Supreme Court will become moot and academic. The Philippine Supreme Court will be ousted of jurisdiction and prevented from fulfilling its constitutional mandate. There will be no end to this constitutional crisis, for in the years to come, the ICC, with much delight, will pick us up one by one, Mr. President. Only the Supreme Court, Mr. President, can stop this nonsense. The sponsors of Senate Resolution number 395 cited the service of warrants of arrest on the late former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, former Senators Laila de Lima, and former Senator Antonio Trillanes. But please take note, Mr. President, they did not mention that their co-sponsor, Panfilo Lacson, evaded service of arrest warrant. The sponsors acknowledged that the late former Senator Enrile, former Senator de Lima, and former Senator Trillanes were all subjected to arrest warrants issued by local courts. For the record, Mr. President, all of them have exercised their rights under Philippine laws and availed of Philippine judicial remedies. Yet the sponsors are blind to the peculiar situation of Senator De La Rosa. Unlike the late Senator Enrile et al., who face arrest warrants issued by Philippine courts, Senator De La Rosa is facing an arrest warrant issued by the ICC, a foreign court which jurisdiction the Philippines does not recognize anymore. Moreover, unlike the former Senator Enrile et al., who availed of the rights and remedies of Philippine laws and courts, Senator De La Rosa will be deprived of all this.
as he will be banished to foreign land on the other side of the planet, beyond the reach of Philippine laws, and forever detached from his family and constituents. Therefore, if the sponsors are sincere in their desire that Senator De La Rosa be accorded the same rights and remedies as those enjoyed by Senator Enrile et al., they should not allow his surrender to the ICC. They should instead withdraw Resolution number 395. The sponsors recognize that under Republic Act 9851, it is the regional trial court that has exclusive original jurisdiction over offenses constituting crimes against humanity. This statement of the sponsors reinforces the position of the majority that the ICC warrant of arrest should not be implemented against Senator De La Rosa, and he must remain under the Senate custodial protection under the ICC arrest until the ICC arrest is quashed by Philippine court. First, Section 18 of RA 9851 provides that it is the Philippine Regional Trial Court that has exclusive original jurisdiction over crimes against humanity. Section 17 allows the transfer of jurisdiction to a foreign court only by way of extradition and provided by the Philippine court, provided the Philippine court is unable to try and decide the case. Therefore, RA 9851 itself bars the ICC from taking jurisdiction the acts attributed to Senator De La Rosa. Kagaya po ng nasabi ko na kahapon, Mr. President, wala po tayong extradition treaty sa ICC. At wala na po tayong membership sa Rome Statute sapagkat nag-withdraw na po tayo. Sa makatid, wala na pong treaty. Yun po ay nakasaad sa Article 17 ng 9851. Second, at the United Nations, the Philippine government, through the permanent representative, pronounced that the state policy under RA 9851, Philippine courts have the exclusive jurisdiction over crimes against humanity. It also declared that Philippine courts have the competence and capacity to try and decide these cases. Eh kung ganun po pala, this is the national policy already articulated even before the halls of the United Nations. Eh bakit pinipilit pa natin na iserve ang isang warrant of arrest na hindi na natin kinikilala ang jurisdiction ng lintik na ICC na yan? Hence, the Philippine state policy is to assert and exercise local jurisdiction rather than recognize foreign jurisdiction such as that of the ICC. Third, the Philippine government has assumed and exercised local jurisdiction under RA 9851 over the crimes arising from extrajudicial killings allegedly committed by Senator De La Rosa. Philippine local jurisdiction already set in when Senator De La Rosa was served a subpoena by the CIDG in connection with its investigation of said extrajudicial killings. Senator De La Rosa has stated that he is ready to respond to the subpoena. It is of no moment, Mr. President, that today the CIDG withdrew the subpoena. It is a legal ruse. It's a legal legerdemain. Ang akala nila kung withdraw nila yung subpoena, wini-withdraw na yung case. No, Mr. President, the case is kicking and alive. It triggered already the jurisdiction of our National Prosecution Service and eventually the courts of this country. The crimes under investigation by the CIDG are the same crimes for which the ICC has issued a warrant, Mr. President. Under the principle of complementarity, said ICC arrest warrants can no longer be enforced because there is now a genuine domestic investigation and prosecution currently taking place in this country. The assumption of jurisdiction by Philippines over the acts attributed to Senator De La Rosa and the person of Senator De La Rosa automatically and absolutely bar the ICC from exercising jurisdiction over the same acts and on his person. These circumstances, and by reason of the principle of complementarity and the Rome Statute, strip the ICC, Mr. President, of its jurisdiction. Therefore, given that the sponsors themselves admit that under Republic Act number 9851, Philippine courts have exclusive original jurisdiction over the crimes for which the ICC has issued an arrest warrant against Senator De La Rosa, given that the Philippines have assumed jurisdiction over said crimes when it served a subpoena on Senator De La Rosa, and given that Senator De La Rosa will respond to the subpoena, said sponsors cannot but agree that the ICC warrant of arrest should not be enforced on the good senator. It should be borne in mind, Mr. President, that the protective custody granted to Senator De La Rosa is for the sole purpose of ensuring the following. First, that only Philippine warrant of arrest, not an ICC warrant of arrest, will be enforced against him. Second, upon service of Philippine arrest warrant, he shall enjoy all the rights and privileges granted by the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. Third, that he can avail of all Philippine administrative and judicial remedies and processes. Fourth, he shall remain in Philippine territory where he can exhaust all said administrative and judicial remedies and processes. And finally, and most important of all, the jurisdiction that the Philippines has assumed over his alleged crimes under R. 9851 must be exercised to the total exclusion of the ICC. Finally, Mr. President, the sponsors of Senate Resolution number 395 question the constitutional and statutory basis of the resolution granting De La Rosa, Senator De La Rosa, the protective custody of the Senate. These purposes, Mr. President, are legitimate. They do not contravene any Philippine law. In fact, they ensure that the Philippine laws are respected and enforced in Philippine territory to the exclusion of the Rome Statute that the Philippines no longer recognize by reason of its withdrawal therefrom. The protective custody granted to Senator De La Rosa addresses not only an extraordinary threat to his liberty, but also an existential threat to the integrity of the Philippine Senate, and by extension, a grave peril to the independence of the Republic itself from foreign interference. It is a threat emanating from a source that the Philippine Constitution laws did not anticipate. A foreign entity, Mr. President, the ICC, which jurisdiction is not only questionable but also lost due to the Philippines' withdrawal from the Rome Statute. The protective custody addresses a threat whose profound ramifications include regime change and outright interference in the sovereign affairs of the Philippines. To give inroads to the ICC is to enable it to structurally alter the Philippine Senate and disenfranchise Filipino voters for the arrested senator will be rendered futile, whose votes for the arrested senator will be rendered futile and meaningless. The ICC will transform Philippine agencies as its own puppet and tools and hold hostage Philippine officials, civilian and military, against whom it can initiate prosecution anytime and in perpetuity. The Senate's custodial protection is born out of self-preservation, which is the first law of nature for both men and institution, Mr. President. The Philippine Senate has granted custodial protection to witnesses in order to ensure the continuity and integrity of its legislative hearings. It is with more reason that it can and should grant custodial protection to its members to enable them to discharge their mandate unmolested by a foreign entity like the ICC and its local tentacles and subalterns. The Philippine Senate and its members enjoy privileges and immunities under the Constitution and laws so that they may discharge their functions effectively, efficiently. Specific privileges and immunities were designed to address the usual disruption to these functions. However, they did not anticipate disruptions from a foreign source. Thus, a purposive interpretation of the Constitution and laws is necessary in order for the Philippine Senate to meet new forms and sources of challenges. For this reason, Mr. President, it adopted Resolution number 44 and implemented the same with respect to Senator De La Rosa. The Philippine Supreme Court did not also see it coming It has to do its job and rise to the occasion, Mr. President. In the end, the dignity and integrity of the person of Senator De La Rosa, as well as of any member of the Senate, including the sponsors, represent the dignity and integrity of the institution of the Philippine Senate vis-a-vis foreign interference. Resolution number 395 will weaken its dignity and in the process destroy its integrity as an institution that stands as the last bastion of democracy. Dapat lamang na ibasura ang resolution number 395. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Former Senate President, Minority Leader Senator Soto is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. President, parliamentary inquiry. I definitely don't mind after Senator Pia Cayetano took the floor because of the allegation that was brought out in media about her. So I definitely support that. But I wonder what happened to our agenda because after the roll call and after Senator Pia Cayetano, I was expecting the reading of the journal be approved and in the reference of business before the privilege speeches. So may I know from the majority
To answer
leader?
the Minority Leader, it's not a privilege speech. He rose on a
I know.
matter of collective and personal privilege, which can be done anytime.
Yes,
and which has
I mean
priority.
Senator Pia Cayetano, there's no
Yes.
problem with that.
What I'm saying is that Senator Marcoleta,
I
I told
see.
him he can go ahead of me sa privilege speech, but he chose to rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege
All right,
instead
so-
of a privilege speech. That's my
right.
understanding.
All right, so my question actually is for the majority leader, but if that is the answer of the...
That's my understanding, Majority Leader. Am I correct?
then we will do away with the agenda if that is the case. Go ahead.
Actually, that's not true, Minority Leader, because the question of personal and collective privilege can be as simple as you cannot hear the sound, may tubig na tumutulo, or may mga police or NBI sa labas. So, collective and personal. Having said that, he gave his speech and we can now go to the agenda. However, Senator Padilla actually had the floor last night and we only asked him and Senator Pangilinan if we, and of course, the graciousness of the Minority Leader, that we adjourn. So Senator Pangilinan is raising his hand and Senator Padilla is raising. What's the pleasure of Senator Pangilinan? But yes, go ahead, please.
Just a quick manifestation on the...
Yeah, if it's a Senator Padilla, manifestation lang, no?
Yes, just a quick manifestation
Yes.
on the earlier speech delivered by Senator Marcoleta. Mr. President, I understand the resolution has yet to be referred.
Yes.
It has not been calendared. And we believe, after consulting with the authors, as well as our minority leader, with due respect, we disagree with a number of the points and arguments raised by Senator Marcoleta, but that we prefer that the resolution be referred to the Committee on Rules, wherein we can discuss and perhaps hear it, Mr. President.
You're correct, we will follow the procedure. My
Thank you.
understanding is his rising on a question of personal privilege is why he took offense with the resolution.
And we share.
Yeah, and not the merits or
Yes.
whether or not we're going to pass it or not or put it on the floor.
Yes, and we're just sharing the sentiment
Yes.
of the authors that
That's
while
in
we
order.
object and do not agree with a number of the arguments raised by Senator Marcoleta, we would rather that the same be referred to the Committee on Rules where we can ventilate the issue further.
Your manifestation is in order
Mr. President.
and at the proper time because it's not in our calendar of business. Senator,
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I respectfully refer the personal and collective privilege of the good Senator, Senator Dante Marcoleta, to the Committee on Rules, Mr. President. So move.
is there any objection? If not, it's referred to the Committee
Yes.
on Rules.
Mr.
Senator
President,
Padilla?
I was about to, with the indulgence and with the approval of the body, as mentioned a while ago by our distinguished Senate President, the floor was, yesterday, Senator Robin Padilla has the floor, and he is seeking the floor, Mr. President. May I be allowed first, Mr. President, to may I move that we acknowledge and recognize the good gentleman, Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Senator Padilla, you're recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Mga mahal kong kasama, mga kagalang-galang kong kasama, at mga karespeto kong mga kasama, meron po akong naiwang usapin kahapon sa ating sesyon. Tungkol po ito sa asal o decorum ng isa sa ating kasamahan. Kaya naman, muli po akong humingi ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita ukol dito upang ipaalala at bigyang diin ang ating mga alituntunin dito sa Senado. Naniniwala po ako na mahalagang mapanatili natin ang respeto, paggalang at kaayusan sa bawat pagdinig at talakayan. Ayon po sa ating rules, ang sabi po dyan, Section 93, Rule number 34, Unparliamentary Acts and Language. Ang sabi po dyan, acts and language which offend a senator or any public institution shall be deemed unparliamentary. Sa wikang Pilipino, ang mga kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o alinmang pampublikong institusyon ay itinuturing na hindi naaayon sa kagandahang asal ng parlamentaryo. Malinaw po na sutuntunin na ito ng Senado na anumang kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o sa alinmang pagpampublikong institusyon ay hindi katanggap-tanggap. Bilang sanggunian, ipapakita ko po sa inyo ang isang video ni Senador Kiko Pangilinan kung saan makikita ang isang mainit na palitan sa pagitan niya at ng isa pang nating senador at ngayon ay Senate President bilang halimbawa ng kontekstong aking tinutukoy.
Pwede mo ba sabihin sa anak mo, anak, pag mali sila, gumawa ka na rin ng mali. Anak, okay lang mangbastos kasi mas bastos sila eh. Anak, okay lang magbully kasi mas bully sila. Ako, hindi ko sasabihin yon. Ako, sasabihin ko,
At hindi yun ang sinasabi.
hindi, yun ang sinasabi mo, Mr. President, and I'm
No,
not yet
Mr.
finished.
President, of
Kasi
course
you said, tama
We
si
beg to
Tariela.
disagree,
Mr.
Mr.
President, I'm not yet finished, no?
Well, we beg to
So,
disagree.
Mr. President, this is the question. The resolution,
Ayun po, nakita po natin na napakagandang halimbawa na ilang beses pong gustong magsalita ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan na hindi dumaan sa tamang procedure na hindi binanggit ang Mr. President. Pumapasok po siya sa usapan, ngunit naging magalang ang Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa mabuting pananalita. Sinabi po niyang, I'm not finished. Kahapon po, nakita po natin ang pangbubulyaw ng ating kasama. Ang sabi po nila, tayo daw po ay balat sibuyas. Hindi po yan pagiging balat sibuyas. Ito po ay nasa rules of the Senate. At ang sabi din po ng ating dating Senate President, na ito daw po ay nangyayari talaga. Nagsisigawan. Mga mahal kong kasama, kung ikaw ay nagsasabi ng iyong talumpati at ikaw ay passionate, okay lang yon. Pero para sigawan mo ang kasama mo, nasaan ang rules of the Senate? Si Ginoong Kiko Pangilinan ng ating senador ay ilang beses na pong senador. Ako po ay neophyte kung tawagin. Napakainam po sana kung pakitaan niya ako ng magandang asal at ipakita sa akin na ganito, iho, ang pagsasabi ng I'm not finished. Hindi yung I have the floor with the burning eyes and a very high voice. Ladies and gentlemen, on record po ito. Nangyari po ito on record sa Senado. Humihingi po siya ng pag-abot ng kamay sa akin, hindi na on record. Paano ko po tatanggapin ng kamay niya? Ginawa niya yan on record. Kaya sana po, hinihingi po natin bilang pakikisa sa aking dasal na siya ay, kung siya talaga ay nais niyang mag-abot ng kamay, on record. Sabihin niya mismo sa plenaryo na siya ay nagkamali. Katulad po ng ginawa ni Senator Lacson na tumayo kanina at nagsabing siya ay nagkamali. Hindi po ito usapin ng lalabas tayo sa media at sasabihin mong balat sibuyas ako. Di tapon na natin itong rules of the Senate. Tapon na natin to. Di pa natin pala susundin eh. Mga mahal kong kasama, ang sinasabi ko dito, tanggalin natin yan sa record dahil ayokong mababasa yan ng aking mga anak at apo na ang isang Muslim senator ay sinisigaw-sigawan dito sa plenaryo. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po sa binigay niyong pagkakataon.
Thank you very much, Senator Robin Padilla. We recognize once again Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, ang suggestion ko ay dahil napanood ko kagabi sa balita na nais pong magsampa ng ethics case laban sa atin na si Senator Robin Padilla. So ang suggestion ko, isampa na yung ethics case at doon na po sa ethics committee natin pag-usapan ito dahil marami pang ibang mga mas importanteng bagay sa aking paniwala ang dapat nating talakayin. Maraming salamat po. For the record, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Pangilinan. We recognize Senator Padilla once again.
Wala na po siguro mas importante kung rules of the Senate ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, ang ibig pong sabihin ba niyan na hindi kayang mahumingi ng paumanhin ng isang veteran senator? Para sa kanyang pagtaas ng boses? Yun po ba?
Nakikita ko po ang matamis ng ngiti ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Napakahirap po bang sabihin nun? At kailangan pa natin umabot sa ethics?
May I suspend session first?